You can go home with just one new idea in regard to the way you think or the way you eat, then our job has been done. Then they can actually build up from that. But again, emphasising the point that everything we must do must be sustainable and maintainable. So we show people how they can actually grow their own veggie gardens or herb gardens, because organics is quite expensive. It's a big movement that's out there. So not everybody can afford to live pure organic. So we show them, shortcuts of ways to do things at home. And really in the long term, it ends up cheaper than what we end up spending on this empty nutritious food or lack of nutrition food that's really been sitting on our shelf for months and months.
Especially when you factor in the doctor's bills by eating the other way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Then we start clocking it all up. So as you can see, that's sort of that area. We have a lot of citrus. Please, Craig.
And a lot of people are amazed at the gluten, sugar and dairy-free desserts that we create, and they're just like, oh my God, this is beautiful. That gets a lot of them.
Again, and we always have people say, are you sure there's not sugar in this? Are you sure you haven't put, wheat and flour in this? So it's actually quite fun to watch that transition as well. And as I was saying before, when the tongue actually gets, the palate gets cleansed and we do detox, the flavours that you start to experience from the simple foods are phenomenal.
Have you mentioned juice detox?
No, would you mind?
We offer Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of every week our clients to do a juice detox, and so all their sustenance comes from juicing, which in doing so it takes about 30% of the energy you got from your last meal to digest this meal. And when you're no longer putting that fibre in that needs to be digested, that extra 30% of energy goes into detoxing, cleaning, maintaining, repairing the body. And a beautiful thing that quite often comes from that is that reset of the palate. That the body starts to understand what it needs instead of just what it wants. Mm-hmm. And we become more instinctual. I just recently watched a documentary where they got a group of kids together, and about 30 kids, and for 3 weeks these kids all came to this one place to eat all of their meals. And what they did was let them run riot in this room, and there was chips and lollies and junk food and soft drink, but there was also fruit and salad and vegetables and meats and really healthy food. And over the first couple of days, of course the kids went nuts on the chips and lollies, but then they started to listen and just eat what they wanted to eat, and they started eating the fruit and vegetables. When they were told when they weren't told, their body just chose what they needed to eat. And over that 3-week period, they actually ate a very balanced, healthy diet of their own choice, because our body knows what it needs and it tells us. When we get in tune with that instinct and we get in tune with that understanding and knowledge, that's what the juice detox helps us to do, to reset that palate.
And it's also quite an amazing process to watch, because not only has Craig explained all the physical symptoms or changes that actually happen, but it's interesting to watch the mind and the emotional changes that happen, particularly in those first 24 to 48 hours, when people start to really react because they go through, oh, I'm missing out, I'm not getting what I normally want, and the dreams that people have. They start dreaming of T-bone steaks and chocolate fudge cake, and some people say, I don't even eat cake. Why am I dreaming of cake? So it's very interesting to watch the conditioning and the patternings that actually start unraveling when we actually remove a lot of these foods, because a lot of the time we're actually using these foods as a crutch, okay, as a support system. We don't feel good about ourselves. We're not enjoying the experiences that life's offering us, so we start seeking out other experiences, and that can be in the form of junk food. We start to feel good because the tummy feels full, and at least that's going to, for a little while, distract me from me not feeling very good at all, not feeling good about myself. So it's an amazing experience to watch, and I call, as Craig goes, it goes for 3 days, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and people break it on the Thursday with a light fruit meal. And Wednesday night, it's a beautiful process to watch, because it's like Christmas Eve. Everyone's really excited again, but we have to remind them, and it's a big component that we teach here at Fountainhead, to be mindful. And what that means is to be aware of eating the solid foods again. As Craig's saying, listening to, as the food goes into the body, is the body had enough? because what the body does do some housework while it's detoxing, and it cleans itself, so we normally don't need the amount of food we're normally guzzling into our bodies. We actually normally need about probably a third less. Okay, and then again the flavours, because we haven't been overloading the palate with all these foods. A piece of fruit, you watch their faces, it's like they are eating the T-bone steak or the chocolate fudge cake now, but now it's a piece of rock melon or a piece of pineapple. So very high enzyme food. We also splash a little bit around alkalizing the body as well, so we use a lot of alkalizing fruit and vegetables as much as we can. So a lot of watermelon, a lot of pineapple, and again it's just, we also start the day off with what we call an alkaline cleanser, so warm water with some lemon or fresh lime juice in that as well, to settle the tummy, to settle the digestion, and to clear the mouth before we start putting food in. And again, these are habits that we teach to our clients, so if it's just something as little as having an alkaline cleanser in the morning and some fruit and nuts for brekkie, as opposed to the big sort of panini, bacon and eggs that normally afterwards we pay for, that, you know, if they can just adopt those little changes, and again, we feel that can be sustainable and maintainable, and again, we have done our job. So it's all about really communicating that to each other.